All right, welcome to today's restorative yoga practice. The goal for this practice is really just to create space and opportunity to go inward, to rest, to cultivate that sense of renewal with ourselves, for ourselves. Now, we won't move through too many postures. You want to make sure that you are comfortable for the next 45 minutes. Now, I will encourage you to grab a few props. Now, I have a few things here. I have two bolsters. I also have two blocks here, and then I also have two blankets. Feel free, again, you don't have to have the yoga blankets. You can grab blankets off the bed, off the couch, anything that might feel comfortable. If you don't have bolsters, pillows off the bed, couch cushions work just as well. And if you don't have blocks, you can always use stacks of books to help you there. Sometimes if we use stacks of books and maybe wrap a belt around them to hold them together, that can be just as helpful. But we'll be using these props to help us cultivate that sense of being held and supported. And that's the goal for our restorative yoga practice. All of the cushions and pillows, and grab an eye mask if you have one, all of those sort of things can be helpful to help us feel held and supported. And it's in those moments that we feel held and supported that our nervous system can really do what it needs to do to move into that rest, digest, that healing phase to do its work for us. All right. So what I want us to do is to first start in just a traditional meditative posture. We'll use some meditation to sort of help get us grounded in our bodies. We'll do some gentle movement, and then we'll move into our first of just two restorative postures for this practice. So just take a nice comfortable seat, create some space to elevate the hips above the knees, and just start to settle in. Let the eyes gently blink closed or let the gaze soften. And feel the weight of the body softening, the weight of the body making contact directly with whatever's supporting you. So that could be a cushion, the floor, the yoga mat, whatever you're feeling. Letting whatever tension melt away into that cushion, into that support, grounding downward. Gently letting the sits bones, the pelvic floor ground into the earth. But then we allow the spine to gently lengthen. Spine lengthening from that grounding. Feeling the crown of the head reach to the sky. Shoulders start to gently broaden. Rolling the shoulders up to the ears and then gently down the back. Heart open. Having the hands resting in the lap, palms face down to assist in that sense of grounding. Softening where you can. And just coming into this grounded presence that we're cultivating together. Noticing and witnessing the way in which the body is breathing in this moment. Breathing gently, breathing easefully. Checking in as you are landing into this practice, noticing how you're feeling as you're arriving here. And maybe even asking yourself what's on your heart as you drop into this practice. No need to judge. We'll take a nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose, letting the belly, the chest, the ribs fully expand. Audible exhale out of the mouth. Taking 2 more of those cleansing breaths at your own pace in a way that feels good and nourishing for you. And once those cleansing breaths feel clear, just seal the lips, let the breath flow through the nostrils, coming into Samavriti, that even or equal flow of the breath. And I'll guide us through it a few cycles of the breath. So let's do one more cleansing breath as we move into it. Inhaling through the nose, belly, chest, ribs fully expanding into this moment. Audible exhale out of the mouth. Seal the lips and let the breath flow in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just flow with that for a few cycles of the breath. Allowing yourself to connect to the stillness through this balanced yet effortless breath. No need to strive or force the breath to flow too hard. Just signaling to the body that it's okay to come into this state of ease and balance. Now, when you're ready, still keeping the eyes closed, still keeping that energy or that gaze inward. I want you to take your right hand, place it right behind you. Left hand, place it on the right knee. And I want you to gently twist to the right, taking your gaze over the right shoulder, keeping the spine nice and long, softening in the shoulders, breathing in through that gentle twist. Just giving the spine a little love before we move into our first posture. Slowly unravel, coming back to the front, walking yourself back around gently, noticing if there's this urge to rush in that return back to neutral. From here, take the left hand, place it behind you. Right hand placing it on the left knee and taking your gaze over the left shoulder. Coming into a twist on the left side. Again, keeping the spine long, softening in the shoulders. Breathing into the twist. Allowing yourself to gradually open into the posture. We're just here for a moment to give our spine a little love. Creating a little space for us to take care of ourselves before we rest. There's no need to overcomplicate the practice. Slowly returning back to center. From here, we'll do a few rounds of a seated cat-cow before we go into our first posture, which will be a supported child's pose. So a few rounds of cat-cow. So what I want you to do is to round the back, tuck the chin, take the gaze down, feeling into that. Then gently reverse, slowly taking the gaze up, pressing the chest forward, letting the head come back gently. Reverse, rounding the back, tucking the chin, taking the gaze down. Reverse, chest forward, gaze up, head dropping back gently. Just articulating every part of the spine. Now play with that for a few rounds. Maybe do 3 full rounds at your own pace in a way that feels good. Now when that feels complete, come right back to center. If the eyes were closed still, just gently blink them open. Do a few neck rolls here. Now, we're going to set ourselves up for our first posture, which again, as mentioned, will be a supported child's pose. Now, let me move a few things out of the way as we prepare for our posture. One of the things I want to name about our restorative yoga practice is that our setup is a part of the practice. So we want to take as much care getting into it as we do, as we settle into the practice and allow ourselves to explore each posture. Okay. Now, you might have a yoga mat down, but what I would encourage you to do is to take one of your blankets, maybe where you believe your knees would be in that child's pose, open it up so that you have some space here, because ideally our knees will be supported by this blanket. All right. Now, a few things you can do. Now, let's just say you only have one bolster, right? What I want you to do is you can take both blocks, set that up, and have the blocks going down the length of the mat, placing them right next to each other. And you can place one of the bolsters right on top, right? Because what that's going to do is provide us support as we get into the actual child's pose. So I'm going to widen my knees, bring my toes together at the back, let my butt come back to the heels. I might have to move up a little bit. And we're going to allow the upper torso to just melt down on top of the bolster and the blocks. All right. So that's option one, right? You got 2 blocks and your bolster. And as I'm describing this, go ahead and feel free to move into that. Now, if you have an extra blanket, you can make it that much more comfortable. So you can take that blanket, place it on top, and maybe create a little pillow here, right? And just allow yourself to rest on that pillow. Maybe you need extra support for your knees. You can open up that second blanket so that it supports the knees. Let's say you don't have blocks and you do have 2 bolsters. You can take both bolsters, stack them on top of each other, and that becomes your upper body support. Let's say you got blankets or pillows. You can actually take your pillows and add to that support. What I want to name here is that there is never too much comfort. The goal is that you feel fully supported, fully held, and fully connected. All right. This is not like a yin practice where the props are helping us deepen into the stretch. They're helping us be fully present with our rest practice. So holding versus deepening into stretch. So find your supported child's pose, whatever that might look like. Remember, you want to be supported enough that you can be into the posture for about the next 10 to 12 minutes. So again, you're going to come into tabletop. Let the knees widen onto the supportive blankets. Bring the toes together. Let the butt slide back to connect to the heels. Allow the upper body to drape over the bolster or the pillows or the blocks, whatever you have. And just allow yourself to rest on top of the bolsters. If you have your head turned one direction, I'll cue you halfway through so that you have an idea of when to maybe take your gaze the opposite direction. Take the next minute or so just to settle in a way that you feel fully supported and fully comfortable with all the options and variations available to you. The beautiful thing about our restorative practice is that no one setup will look the same. And I would encourage you also to think about the idea that no one practice will look the same. So if you're coming back to this recording and doing it again, maybe your body requires a different level of support. And we want to offer the body that support. Now, once you've settled into the posture, let the eyes gently blink close, the gaze starting to soften again. And we'll take a gentle cleansing breath to mark our entry into this supported child's pose. Deep breath in. Audible exhale out. Scanning the body and noticing where you may be experiencing any tension. And make adjustments. This is a stillness-based practice, but if you are noticing that there is pain or discomfort, adjust. Our goal is not to make ourselves suffer, but to support ourselves. Coming back to Samavriti, or that even flow of the breath. Letting the breath help signal that it is safe for you to rest in this moment. Finding ease in this child's pose. And feeling the support of the front line of the body making contact with the bolster fully in this moment. And you might notice the chest gently expanding into the bolster, the pillows, the blankets. The belly expanding. And noticing if you feel the mind wandering, come back to the sensation of the body in stillness, in rest. Just remembering there's nothing you need to do in this moment but to meet this practice with your full presence. And as we move deeper into our practice, notice if you feel the ability to relax a little bit more, even if it's 1 or 2% more. That progress is worthy of acknowledgement. Sometimes it's softening the tension in our pinky toe, and that's enough to contribute to us loving on ourselves through this restorative practice. You know, we're about halfway through our time in this posture, so if you were resting in child's pose and maybe your ear was rested and your gaze was turned one direction, allow yourself just to flip to the opposite way. So take your gaze the opposite direction and let the opposite ear rest on the pillow or the bolster. There's nothing we need to do but to just be. The goal for our rest practice today. Noticing if there's space for you to soften into the posture a little bit more. And just reminding yourself that in this practice, in this moment, you're being held by something greater. Not just the bolsters, not just the blankets, not just the mat, but the floor, the foundation of your home, or the space in which you're in. Deeper than that, but being held by the earth itself. Just reminding yourself that you are being taken care of by something bigger, grander. A few more moments resting here. Now start to deepen your awareness of where you are in space and time. And as we're resting in child's pose, noticing where your hands are, I want you to press the palms into your mat and allow yourself to slowly press up. As we're pressing up, we might bring the knees in just a little bit, and it's kind of allowing us to move into tabletop. So while we're here in tabletop, let's flow through a few cat-cows. You might move your bolsters out of the way. Gently dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. Coming into cow, tucking the chin, tucking the pelvis, rounding the back, coming into cat. Reverse, gently dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. One more time, rounding the back, tucking the chin, tucking the pelvis. Now when you're ready, maybe just cross right at the ankles and come onto your butt to come into a nice comfortable seat. And we'll set ourselves up for our final posture, which will be a supported shavasana, which we can take in two different ways. We can either come into Queen's Throne, which I'll show you here. With Queen's Throne, we're going to take our 2 blocks here. We'll take 1 block at the top of the mat at its highest setting. We'll take our 2nd block at its lowest setting, place it together at a right angle. We'll bring our first bolster on top just to create a nice little incline here to support our upper body. I am going to move my blankets out of the way. We'll take our 2nd bolster, bring it with us towards the bottom part of our mat, and put this right underneath our legs. So our goal here is to use the bolster and the 2 blocks as upper body support, coming down and relaxing onto that, using the bottom bolster to elevate the knees up to help minimize any back pain or any lower back issues that you might encounter. Now from here, we can take one of our blankets, maybe fold it up and create a little pillow to put at the top of our bolster. And then we have our second blanket to cover up with, right? Now, if you're like, don't want that much upper body support, we can come into Stonehenge. So we can remove our blocks and our upper bolster. Throw that out the way. We'll take our blocks and bring it down to meet the lower bolster. So we're going to stack our blocks right next to each other. Place the bolster right on top. Put our legs on top of that, elevating the legs up a little bit more. Taking one of our blankets, rolling it a few times to create some upper neck support. And we're gently just going to come onto our backs. So we have this one blanket as a nice pillow, and you can grab your second blanket to cover up and just rest here. So two choices. I always like to say yogi's choice, either Queen's Throne or Stonehenge. Take the next few moments to get yourself into whatever posture feels good for you. Knowing that we'll be here for the remainder of our practice. So you want to find as much comfort as possible as we drop into this moment. Once you found your, I always like to say your Goldilocks sort of moment in our restorative practice, start to let the body settle into stillness, returning back to the gentle nature that the support and presence of restorative yoga can offer us. Allowing yourself to, again, meet this moment fully, meet this posture fully. Noticing, acknowledging that this posture feels different. It's a different level of support, different orientation of the body. That supported child's pose gave us space to find support on the front sort of hemisphere of our body, the front line of the body. This provides support, whether you chose Stonehenge or Queen's Throne, support for the back line of the body. So notice the difference, the contrast, what's offered here. Coming back to that balanced flow of the breath. The breath is just asking for us to find ease as we fill our own cup. Again, scanning the body from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown of the head, and notice if there is space where you're still holding tension. And it's in the awareness that we give ourselves permission to relax a little bit more. embracing the possibility of what rest and stillness have to offer you. Remembering that it's so much. Gifting yourself space and opportunity to fully engage in the radiant nature of rest. Now we'll rest here in our final few moments of the practice, resting in silence. Remember, silence is an important part of our practice, and it gives us space for integration, ease, and really to be with ourselves in a really intimate way. So just gently embrace this silence. You'll hear my voice on the back end of the practice guiding us out of the experience. Now, when you're ready, I want you to begin to gently deepen the breath and bring some gentle movement into the body. Just taking care of yourself, moving slowly. And in that movement, notice if you feel the urge to move quickly. You've just given yourself 45 minutes of deep relaxation, deep rest. Allow yourself to continue to stoke that energy. So move slow. Noticing what your body might need to close the practice, to allow this experience to feel sealed and complete for you. Taking the next few moments to make your way to a nice, comfortable seat. If your eyes open on the way up, gently blink them closed and bring the hands together right at heart center, pressing the palms together gently, chest rising to meet the back of the thumbs. Taking a moment to thank yourself for creating space to pour back into your cup, to take care of yourself, to nourish yourself. But most importantly, being gentle with yourself in the practice, in the process, and knowing how you can carry that energy into your everyday. Slowly rub the hands together, generating a little love, light, heat, energy between the palms. And when you feel that warmth, I want you to let your hands rest on a part of the body that needs a little extra love, knowing that that'll be different for everybody experiencing this practice. And just notice your own capacity to heal as you rest your hands on a part of your body. Noticing your own capacity to love on yourself, to pour back into yourself, to take care of yourself. And as we close fully, let's take a community cleansing breath together. Deep inhale through the nose, belly, chest, ribs, expanding the fullest that it's been in this practice. Audible exhale out. With that being said, my friends, thank you for letting me hold space for you. Hopefully this practice was nourishing and it was supportive and it offered you what you needed in this moment. Yeah, may you move into your day with a greater sense of peace, clarity, and freedom. Thank you, beautiful people. Until next time.